everyone, my name is Sarah. I am the dyer, designer, the knitter, crocheter. I am all the things behind Denim and Rain, and this is my Whatevercast where I chat about whatever I feel like, whether that's plants or yarn or sewing, whatever at the time. Today most of it is yarn, but I do have a couple of other little things to show. So I actually recorded an episode about 2-3 weeks ago, but then I was at a photo shoot and I needed space in my card, and I was like, oh, I've already got all of these uploaded on my computer, I will edit them later, I don't need them to stay on my memory card. Well, I did not upload it to my computer, so bye-bye files. So yeah, and then I just got busy and then didn't get around to re-recording. So here we are 2.5-3 weeks later recording. I was going to record yesterday, but I had to go to the dentist. Just routine cleaning. I have anxiety at the dentist though. I've been drilled a few times before. I've been numb. I've just had a lot of bad experiences, and I don't enjoy going to the dentist even a little bit. But I was completely physically and mentally worn out after that. She was just scraping my teeth, getting them all sparkly clean, which she didn't need to do a whole lot of scraping. There was just a couple of spots. But while she was doing it, I was having some Braxton Hicks, and that was stressing me out, and I was uncomfortable, and then I started having a hot flash, and then her just being in my bubble was freaking me out. I was like, I can't. I held up my hand, closed my mouth. I was like, I need a minute. I sat up and she went and got me some water, but I sat there and I almost passed out. So yeah, that's me at the dentist. So yeah, and they were like, they found like a couple of little cavities, and of course they go through their thing. Do you drink sweet stuff? Which I don't. I was like, I drink water and I drink tea. I was like, every now and then I drink some juice, but that's about it. But I've been having some acid reflux. Joy's being... I'm back. My camera batteries died, which I had a feeling was maybe going to happen. And it did. But anyways, don't like the dentist. Didn't feel good afterwards, so I decided we'll wait, which I was bummed about because today was supposed to be gross and cloudy. But it's actually really gorgeous and nice, so I'm getting lots of beautiful natural light. But anyways, moving on, let's show you some yarny goodness. I will start with a couple of things that I finished when I recorded this episode a couple of weeks ago. These things were not finished, so you didn't really get to see them while they were still works in progress, but you get to see them now as finished objects. Okay, so I'll start with this one. Again, if you are family, you can just leave now because you're not allowed to be watching, because I'm sharing Christmas gifts that I am making. Bye! If you're not family though, let me show you what I've been making. This is a scarf / wrap that I have made my mother-in-law. Ponytail's kind of in the way. That's a shorter one. Just kind of goes around once like that. It doesn't have like overwhelmingly long ends on it, but she's a little bit shorter, so that's probably okay. But it's not crazy long. But it is a moss stitch with a garter panel that has some coloring in it, and then loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of more moss stitch back down to the garter. And of course, I kind of honestly I always like the wrong side of the garter stitch color work. I always think it looks pretty cool. But yeah, so I've got this finished minus weaving in the ends. I'm saving that for a day where I don't really feel like knitting and I just need to like work on something. So I'll save that for one of those days, because I do have those days. I actually the other day spent a huge chunk of time weaving in the ends of all my granny squares that were sitting around. So that felt good, getting all of those done. Next finished things are some little knit pumpkins. I did knit 3 more knit pumpkins, but I gave those to my mother-in-law who requested pumpkins. So this one is already broken. My children were having fun playing with it and tossing it around the living room, so I have to reattach the cute little leathered stem. I do not remember what this yarn is. This is the Loops and Threads. I think it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool. I don't know. They carry it at Michael's. I just saw the color. I liked it. I thought it looked cute. And then I knit a bigger one in white. So these have been chilling out on my coffee table, and I like them. I think they're pretty darn cute. This one is the Lion Brand Thick and Quick in the Fisherman colorway. So yeah, there are those. My next finished object is for the baby. So he's going to be a Christmas baby. So I crocheted him a little elf Santa hat, whatever you want to call it. But super cute, super simple, super fast. Just wanted something I could throw on him and he could look cute and festive. I have my eyes on some Burt's Bees pajamas for him. They're red and white striped. So if I get him those, this will look so cute with them. But yeah, I'm very excited about that one. Josh was like, isn't that a little too big for his head? I was like, well, I have a feeling he's gonna be a big baby. And I was like, and if not, it took me like half an hour, 45 minutes to crochet this up. I was like, so I can just make him another if it doesn't fit. It's not like it's the end of the world. Next are some dishcloths. These are not exciting, but you know, they're practical. So I have one crochet one. I did a granny square with some of my own modifications. Yeah, not a whole lot to say about it. It's cotton. Just I think the Sugar and Cream brand of cotton. And then I have a couple of knit ones. This is the Grandma's dishcloth pattern with holes. Amy from Stranded podcast was knitting up a bunch of these, and I saw them. I was like, those are cute. I should make some of those. She did hers without the holes, but I kind of like the holes. I think they add a cute little decorative edge, so that's what I did. And my last finished object, yes, this is my last thing. Not 100% finished because there are a crazy amount of ends to tie in. I don't want to do them. But these are going to be for my father. He asked me last year for Christmas if I would knit him some fingerless gloves. So I attempted that. I tried about probably around like 8 to 10 times to knit fingerless gloves. I don't know, I just couldn't get the gauge, and I was at the point of ripping out all of my hair. I was so frustrated that I couldn't figure them out. So I was like, nope, I'm done, I'm not doing it. So I crocheted him a hat instead, which he needed anyways because he had shrunk in his last one. It got stuck in the washer and dryer, and it was 100% wool. So it shrunk up to a nice tiny size. So now it's Ben's hat. But I decided this year I was going to make him fingerless gloves. I was determined, and I got it on the first try. So, you know, I just needed a year more experience to get this down. So here we are. Fingerless gloves. I have a 2x2 ribbing on the bottom. Obviously they're huge. They're like super big and baggy on me, but they won't be on him. And then a 1x1 ribbing on the fingers, because it kind of like clings to the fingers more than just a stockinette, which is what I wanted. The original pattern had stockinette going up to like here and then a little bit of ribbing, but I decided to do the whole fingers in the ribbing, and I think it fits a little bit better than if it was not that way. I will link the pattern below because I don't remember what it was called. It's just men's fingerless gloves. It was a free pattern on Ravelry, and in the pattern it didn't have the designer or a pattern name. So I have to go back to my Ravelry, and did I save it to my library or in my favorites? No. Why I didn't do that, I have no idea. So I have to go figure out what pattern it was I used. And the pattern is actually a Word document, which usually people make them PDFs, so you can't edit or change them. But it was kind of nice because I started making my own notes inside of the Word document in my Google Drive, which is kind of nice. But yeah, these are knit out of Cascade yarns in a gray color. Don't ask me what color, because this yarn has been hanging out in my stash for, well, since before last Christmas. And it is a 100% superwash wool, so it's very nice. I think they will keep his hands nice and cozy and warm this winter. I'm going to knit him another pair, but I think I'm going to play around with my own pattern. I want to do something with some sort of texture or cabling on the back of the hands. And then, yeah, I'm not sure if I maybe want to do full finger gloves. Haven't 100% decided. Maybe I'll test it out on one finger and see how it goes and how I like the cast off at the tips of the fingers. And we'll go from there. If I don't like it, then I can just always rip back and just do the little fingers. So yeah, I'm very happy with them. Especially after last year and like thinking I was never going to ever be able to make fingerless gloves, but I did it. Okay, next things. I guess I'll just show you the thing that's closest to me. I'm just kind of playing around with this currently. I don't know if it's gonna get finished or if I really like it. I haven't decided yet. I'm crocheting a bulky yoke sweater. I haven't touched it in like a couple of weeks, but I kind of wanted something fun and, I don't know, crocheted. But in my mind, I'm envisioning big sleeves that come down to tight cuffs that are maybe 3/4 and don't go quite down all the way. So this currently only has the one section of the white, but I will be incorporating more white into it and doing some colorwork sections. But I don't know, I also did a couple of short row in the back to raise up the neck. We'll see if that works, because I've never done that for crochet before, and I've only done it once before with knitting, so who knows. I'm playing around with it, and I'm using my Furls crochet hook, which I love my Furls crochet hooks. I now have 3 of them. I have a, oh boy, I have a 6.5 millimeter, which is a K, and a 10.5, a US 10.5. I don't know. I'm terrible with the US sizes. I actually prefer going with the the millimeters. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a 10 millimeter because this is a 10 millimeter. I have the 10 millimeter right here. Or no, that's the, I don't know, guys. This is a P 10 millimeter. I have the K 6.5 millimeter. And then I have this little guy that I just got, which is the G, which is a 4 millimeter. So yeah, I really like them. I was a little bummed. This one has a little like scrape and denting on the neck of it. I don't know if you can kind of see that, if it's focusing on it or not. But it has a little dent like right there where my thumb is. But it's not so bad to the point where I feel like I need to email them to have a new one sent. The yarn's still smooth over it, so I'm not too concerned. But since I have this little baggie open, I will show you my granny squares that I've been plugging away on. I have several here. I've got a couple of these little blue and brown ones. It's a child. Hold on just one moment. Hello again, I'm back. I try to not have too many cuts in my videos, but you know, I have children, so that happens. And then I started recording this section again, but apparently I didn't hit the record button, so my camera turned off. I was like, hey dummy, your camera's not recording. Haha. I'm tired and my back hurts, so I'm just like trying to get through this because I want to tell you guys about all the things that I'm making. Okay. Granny squares. Let me show you the rest of them real quick. I have, oops, I'm gonna drop them all over the place. None of these have their ends woven in. This is a natural one with some brown and orange and green speckles. Part of a possible future line of yarn because I'm really falling in love with the colors that I came up with. A mauve pink, a really pretty olivey, dirty green, a pretty blue, a gray with the mauve pink. So yeah, I'm currently midway through a mustardy square that has speckling of orange and brown in it. So yeah, very excited about those. Eventually I'll have enough to make a blanket. I think I need about 180 more squares. So, you know, we're slowly plugging along at it. Eventually I'll have a blanket. I don't mind having a kind of long-term project and kind of waiting every now and then for like other scraps and other little mini skeins to create my scrappy granny square blanket. Alright, the next one is a half finished object. I have a movie night slipper sock. This is the Lion brand Thick and Quick. Hold on, I was smart. I set the ball band inside of the sock so I could remember what color it was. This is not the right ball band though. This ball band is for this yarn because this says slate. I don't think this is slate. I think this is slate. So, way to go me. I thought I was being clever and smart, but apparently not. Just stick that back in there for now because apparently I had a reason for sticking it in there. But anyways, movie night slipper socks. This is the version with the tall cuff because I like the tall cuff because I can pull them up really high over leggings, or if I want to, I can fold them down and they have a nice thick rolled cuff, which I think is super cute. But yeah, that one's done. And then I am currently working on another one in a different colorway because why would I finish that one, the second sock to that one? I wouldn't. But that's okay because I'm thinking maybe I can take some new pictures of them and possibly offer made-to-order movie night slipper socks in my store. Possibly, maybe, I don't know. But I do have the pattern for these beauties in Etsy and Ravelry. I will of course share the link below. These ones I'm also doing the long cuff because, well, like I said, it's my preference. But yeah, I'm thinking possibly the purpley eggplant ones. Those ones will be for my mom. Not for Christmas, just as like thanks for watching my kids all the time. Because I knit my mother-in-law those little pumpkins, so I figured I can maybe give my mom those socks once I get pictures of them. My next thing is something very small. It's basically done. I just need to sew these together. But I've made a scrunchie, little velvet one. This is going to be for my sister-in-law. She wears scrunchies. So, yeah. Super, super exciting here. Okay. Ooh, knocking things over here. Don't mind me. My next thing is a sweater. Not for me, but for my sister for Christmas. I've never knit anybody a sweater before. I can't remember if I've shown this on the podcast before. I think I showed it on the last one I did. But I don't think I was very far. Maybe I was. Who knows? But here we are. It is black, so it is hard to see, but I will scooch it up closer. Maybe you can. There. It is a moss stitch front, and then the back is just in stockinette. My camera doesn't really like this black, which I don't blame it. It's kind of hard to see. But it's just going to be a basic raglan sweater. I did throw it on once I like split for the sleeves and I had like about an inch. I threw it on, and I'm currently obviously very huge with a belly, so it's really hard to tell size wise. She's a little bit smaller than me. I usually wear a size small, and she's usually extra small to small. I have a larger bust size than she does. So it fit over my bust fine. It was like kind of a more fitted. So it should be like, have like just a little bit of positive ease on her, which would be good. But she might be able to wear this while pregnant because her belly is a lot lower and smaller than mine is. Because my sister is also pregnant right now. I feel like I've mentioned that. Maybe I haven't. I may have been on the last episode that was non-existent and you guys did not get to see. But yeah, I'm hoping she likes it. I know she likes to wear black, and I know she likes her sweaters, and it's not too far off from some of the sweaters that she wears, so I just hope that it fits her. I may have to ask one of her friends that's smaller to throw it on for me to see if it fits them, so I can maybe get an idea if it will fit her. But yeah. And then I have one last thing that I am working on. Yeah, one last thing. Because there's actually not a lot of projects I'm working on, you guys. I am actively working on movie night slipper socks, the sweater, this sweater, and then this project I'm going to show you. And that is it. That's, yeah, 3 things. I usually have like 10 things going at a time. I mean, I do have a couple of other projects that I've set aside just to kind of crank out the Christmas knitting. But yeah, I am actually putting a slight pause on the Christmas knitting to knit some mittens. These are going to be little tiny mittens for Benjamin. And then I will also be knitting Claire a pair. We were heading out the other morning to go drop them off at Grandma's house so I could go to work, and it was freezing outside. There was frost all over the car, And we got in, and I hadn't warmed it up because I didn't realize it was going to freeze overnight. And both the kids are like, Mommy, my hands are cold. They're both sitting on their hands. I was like, I should probably make you guys some mittens, huh? They're like, yeah, can we have mittens? And now they're constantly asking me for mittens. So here we are. I am knitting them some mittens. I should have this one and hopefully the other one done for Ben today, and then I can start on Claire's maybe tomorrow. But yeah, I am excited. I think knitting those fingerless gloves for my dad has given me the confidence to take on mittens, because that's a lot easier to just do a nice, like, I'm just gonna basically do a sock toe, I think, style. I don't know. I'm just kind of making this, I'm making this up as I go. So I'm writing down the pattern as I'm knitting it, so obviously I can duplicate it for this one. I even have a thumb gusset and everything. So yeah. See? If it doesn't turn out, it's not like this is a ton of knitting to rip out and start over. But yeah, that is all I've been working on for knitting. I do have one sewing project that I literally just started moments before I started recording. So obviously it's just cut. But I have cut this Star Wars fabric up. And then I have this fabric, which is basically a towel. And I'm going to be making some burp rags. Because honestly, the ones you get in the store are really small. Really small. Like the ones from Gerber are like this big. Like, and they're like that wide. And I'm like, what kind of babies they're spitting up? Because that must be like the tiniest baby spit up in the history of baby spit up, because my baby spit up more than that. Or if they like, ooh, I just like got all the fuzzy wuzzies on me. Or if they have like poop leakage or just drool. I mean, so I've basically taken a kitchen towel and cut the rims off of that, and then cut the fabric to match the size. I just bought like a fat quarter, and there's like this much extra fabric from that, so I might like do a quilted one once I am done with all of the other ones. But yeah, so it's going to be a really good size. So I mean, I can completely be covered up while holding Gassy baby, and then it's a towel size. So if we have an incident, we can just wipe it all up. So I'm very excited about that. I have a couple more to cut and pin and iron and sew. That's why I don't do a lot of sewing. I don't like doing all the cutting and the pinning. But yeah. Whew, I'm covered in towel fuzzies because I cut the edges. Alright, well that's it for that. And hopefully I should get this episode up today, which is Friday. And which is the day I am launching my mini collection of winter yarn. So I will show that really quickly to you now. I will show them an order of yarns that I've previously offered in the shop. So this is Ice Caves, a really pretty light gray tonal. All of these are on my 80/20 base, which is just so fabulous and squishy and soft and luxurious. I love it. I want a sweater out of this, you guys. It's amazing. Okay. The next one is Goodnight Cascades. This is a dark tonal gray. The next one is Evergreens. This is a tonal green with some dark speckling throughout. And we have Snowy Evergreens, which is a natural with the evergreen and Ice Caves gray kind of speckled in throughout. And then the last one was a very happy accident. I was going to dye Winterberry, which is kind of similar to this. It's mostly the natural color, and then it has evergreen, and then it has a maroon mauve color speckled in. But the green dye split lime green, which I've not had happen before. Like, sometimes it splits a little and it leaves dark blue speckles, which I don't know if you can see on here. Come on! Dark blue speckles, like in there. Which I don't mind the dark blue, like the dark blue is really pretty, but the lime green, and it bled everywhere. Disaster. So I was like, okay, well, let's make this more of a, I wanted to do more of a variegated, so I like did more of the green and more of the maroon and just kind of let the colors all blend together. Well, then the mauve took over. So I was like, so I just overdyed all of it with a very dark, deep burgundy plum purple color, which I don't think my camera likes. There it goes. And that's showing pretty true. It is a little more blue tinted in real life. It has a little bit more of like a purpley tone to it, but that's pretty good. And then it has a couple of spots throughout that's a little bit lighter, and that has a couple of specklings. I noticed there was a little bit of mustard and blue speckling. Sometimes dyes just do what they want to do. But I think it's really cool and fun, and that's why I love it. But yeah, here they all are together. They are a beautiful, beautiful set. Any single one of them would go fabulous along with the other, or on their own. I mean, how great would, you know, these three be for a shawl or a sweater, or, you know, these three for a shawl or a sweater, or all 5 of them together for a colorwork sweater. Yeah, I want to see that. Somebody buy one of each. And knit a sweater. Do it. Do it. Yeah, and you guys are like, she's crazy. Probably. But I think it would be beautiful. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say today, which was quite a lot, I feel like, and that's probably because I had about a month and a half's worth of knitting and crocheting and things to say, and I kind of rambled on about going to the dentist and children and burp cloths, so you know, whatever. That's what you're here for. You're here for whatever I feel like talking about. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching this randomness of a video. If you enjoyed it, I would love if you would hit subscribe and the like button. That would be just awesome and make my day. Also, I had my brain stopped for a half second there. You can follow me on all the different places on the internet. I have an Instagram, a Facebook, a Pinterest, a Ravelry, an Etsy, a website, all of which will be linked below. So be sure to check all of those out and have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye!